funny story. I am in a completely different location today. I tried to set it up to look as similar as possible. I brought my scarf, I brought my ring light, my external microphone. I guess very long story short, I am actually in the dressing room of the college that I graduated from. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. There's a very weird sound coming from the ceiling. Did you hear that? Okay, so I'm gonna film this video. If I get home and it's like completely distracting, I will not post this. I'll refilm it somewhere else. But I spent too much time getting this set up, so I'm gonna film it. Today I'm gonna be talking about 10 things I'm going to miss about living in Utah. I never thought I'd be making this video because I've lived here for 5 years and I'm like, ugh, get me out of here, it sucks, blah, blah, blah. But I was actually pretty easily able to come up with a list of 10 things that I'm gonna miss. I'm gonna share that with you today. This does not include skiing, hiking, national parks, anything super outdoorsy, because I'm not super into that. I feel like maybe I've wasted my time in Utah like a little bit by not doing that. Whatever, my treatment center took us to a bunch of national parks, so I got it in there. And these are in no particular order. All right, let's get started. Number 1 is the mountains. Now, I know that I said I wasn't gonna include anything outdoorsy, and this isn't involving like the hikes. The mountains are just really pretty. We get really pretty sunsets. Even when the weather starts to get warmer, like right about now in March, there's still like snow on the tops of the mountains. It's just beautiful scenery. It's really, really pretty. Also, being in a valley and being able to tell which mountains are which and knowing which direction you're facing is really cool. Number 2, kind of going along with the directions, the numbered streets and the grid system. Ugh, it is so nice. So Salt Lake City is built on a grid. I'm gonna try to put a photo here. It is all based around the Mormon temple. And around the Mormon temple, you have South Temple, West Temple, North Temple. We don't have East Temple because that's technically State Street. But you have 200 South, 300 South, 400 South. And in every direction it goes like that. Those numbers stretch the entire valley. Some streets do have names, but if they have a name, they also have a number assigned to them, so you can kind of tell where you are on the grid. So I have a story to tell about this. On my 2nd or 3rd day in Salt Lake City, I was in my transition program, and I had to go out and get a job. And so I didn't have a car. It was the beginning of January, it was snowing. I put on a dress and high-heeled boots, and I walked to go find a job. I did end up finding a job like the next day, but it was actually a job I had applied for online. And my phone died, and I didn't have a charger with me. I had been out for like 3 hours, just like trekking in my fancy boots in the snow, and all I knew was my address. My address then thankfully didn't have a street name, it was just this number south, this number east. And I was able to find my way home with that grid system after living in Salt Lake City for only 2 days, or maybe it was 3 days. I'm gonna miss the grid system. It is so easy. I've talked to some people like from Chicago or other places, and they're like, how do you know like when you say 900 or when you say 9th, which one do you know what you're talking about? I'm like, you just learn it very quickly, and if it's not an obvious, then you'll say 900 east or 900 west. Number 3. Really nice people. People are just really nice, really friendly. They're always saying hi to you on the streets. And I mean, it's not everyone, and it's not to say that people in Chicago aren't nice, but I've met so many people living here, and they're just, people are just really friendly here. Number 4, a really diverse theater scene. We have really professional regional theaters. We have the Eccles Theater downtown, which is brand new. I mean, it's a few years old, but it's beautiful, and it's where all like the Broadway tours go. And then we have really, really small theater companies. There's one that I've worked with. They don't have their own building. They perform wherever they can find. They perform in very unconventional spaces. They'll do shows with 1 actor, with up to like 6 or 7 actors, and anything in between that you can think of. There's just a really diverse theater scene, and I've loved being able to become a part of it here. And it's also a really, like, it's really big and diverse, and yet it's really a small community. It's like I'm constantly working with the same people in multiple theaters around the valley. Number 5, cheap cocktails. I don't go out drinking that much. I really don't go to bars that often, but when you do, you can get a cocktail for like $4 or $5. So, number 6, Dakota. Go watch my video on horses. I talk all about Dakota. I am planning a trip to go see him in the next couple of weeks, hopefully. Of course, I'll bring you with. I am so excited. Even though I haven't seen him in a couple of years, it's just kind of comforting knowing that I'm in the same state as him. Number 6, oh, what number is this? I don't know what number I'm on. I'm gonna say I'm on number 7. Cafe Rio. It's funny because I didn't actually start eating at Cafe Rio until like a year ago. Cafe Rio is kind of like a, I guess you could compare it to Chipotle, where you go up and you just say whatever you want on everything. And it is just, It is so good, and Tristan and I eat there. If we could eat there every day, we probably would. So we're gonna try to be eating it as much as possible before we leave because just, it's so good. Number 8, I don't wanna say no traffic, but not as much traffic as you find in Chicago. It has become a little worse in the last few years because Salt Lake City is a very, very fast growing city, but also our highways are like super wide. We have like 6 lanes, and in Chicago, the highway that went from where I grew up to downtown was only 3 lanes, and it was just, ugh, I hated it. So I like the wide highways, and oftentimes there's not as much traffic. Number 9, large cookie places like Chip and Crumble, and there's others like Goodly. They just keep popping up all over the place, and they have these giant cookies, and they have like flavors of the month or flavors of the week, and they're so good, and you can get them delivered, and they're warm, and they're just, I don't know, they're really popular here in Utah and Salt Lake City, so I love them. I'm gonna miss them a lot. Number 10, the weather. I can't say it's completely predictable, but just compared to Chicago, it's more on the mild side. There are a few things that go into that. One is the humidity. It's just not as humid here. I don't know, summers are pretty dry. In Chicago, once it reaches like 85, it's like, ugh, don't go outside even. It's like Satan's armpit. But 85 here is pretty mild. You know, we can get up into the high 90s. The summers are pretty bearable. Another thing is not many thunderstorms. I could probably count on my hands how many thunderstorms I've heard since living in Salt Lake City and Utah. We're in Chicago, like all of March and April is just thunderstorms nightly, house-shaking thunderstorms. So they don't happen that often here. It does rain plenty, but the big old thunderstorms where like trees are getting knocked down and streets are flooding, that doesn't happen too often here. And another one is winters aren't too harsh. In Chicago, the winter, you'll hear people describe it as like sharp or bitter. It is just cold that just hits your skin like needles. And that doesn't happen too much here. We do get plenty of snow, but generally will melt pretty quickly. And don't get me wrong, we do get winters, but they are just not as, I don't know, snow days aren't as common. The cold doesn't bite you the same way that it does in the Midwest. So there you go. That's 10 things I'm gonna miss about living in Utah. If you have any other video ideas, let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. Bye.